All right, we are recording. Is this 8 or 9? Not sure how much. It's 9. Okay. The mouse, the bird, and the sausage from Grimm's Fairy Tales, and this one I actually understand. I'm sorry. I'm still. I got no idea about the straw, the coal, and the bean. What its actual purpose was, but this one makes a lot more sense. So, and there is something of a moral to it as well. The mouse, the bird, and the sausage, they're friends. Kind of like the straw, the coal, and the bean. Although they start off as friends, they don't come together and all that. So, they're friends. They live together. They each have a role that they serve in this home, in this house. The mouse fetches water and starts the fire for dinner. The sausage cooks the dinner, and the bird goes out to get wood for the fire. Okay. Well, when the bird is out one of these days, it encounters another bird. And by the way, they are all very happy, very content with this arrangement. But this other bird is like, they're taking advantage of you, right? It's like, well, you're out here doing all this hard work. What are they doing? Once the mouse gets the water, it's done. It can rest until it's time to eat, time to prepare for eating and start the fire. So it just rests. What does the sausage do at all? It's like it can rest all day until it's time to cook the meal. And even then, how much of that time is it just standing there and looking? But you're having to work all this time getting these things together. And so the bird is like, you're right, because it's an idiot. But as I said, this one actually makes sense. There's a moral here, which is essentially they each have their own place. They each have their own strengths, their own weaknesses, and they were fitted to their chores. So the bird is insistent that we have to change things up. This isn't fair. This isn't fair. Why do you guys get to rest all the time? This isn't fair. We have to do this. It's like, come on. No. No, we have to. All right, fine. So they drew lots. Hang on. The bird now is to get water. The mouse is to cook the food, and the sausage is to go out and get the sticks, get the wood. Well, the bird and the mouse, for the initial part, they would do what they do. The sausage, however, they know is late coming back. It did manage to collect the wood, but it's late coming back. So the bird goes out and finds that it has been found by a dog. Which technically the dog is now speaking. I think it's enough to just say the dog took the sausage. But no, when the bird gets there, it's like, hey, you're taking our dog. Hey, you can't take the sausage. We need him. And the dog is like, well, I found forged letters on him, which means his life is forfeit. So I'm taking it. It's like, the dog's lying, but the bird is like, oh, nothing I can do about this. It's like, anyhow. I guess they figure if you have a talking sausage, the dog should also talk, so you need some reason there. But still, sausage is gone. So the bird comes back, and the mouse and it are like, what do we do? I don't know. But let's cook the meal anyway. Well, that's the mouse's job now. Well, the sausage, when cooking a meal, would be in the broth, which would make some sense because it would flavor it. But it's also, it's like it was moving around in there. So the mouse tries this and dissolves and melts because it is in boiling water. And then when the bird knows, oh, the cook is gone. This is weird. Okay. Accidentally knocks over the fire, so it catches the house. So it's like, oh no, better go get water. So it goes to the well to get the bucket, but ends up dropping the bucket and drops itself down. And, well, the well is not a place it can fly out of, so it ends up drowning. So they all end up dying. Because the bird was not sufficiently content and allowed this other bird that doesn't know the situation to convince it that something was wrong, even though that it made sense. And because they then each ended up in a situation that they were not suited for, they all end up dying. And yeah, that I think is definitely the moral there, that people do have strengths, people do have weaknesses. You have them then doing what aligns with that. And when you don't, it doesn't work. Or people die. Let's go with just it doesn't work. We don't necessarily need to go the whole route of people will die. But that is certainly the case in some situations. But yeah, it's just kind of funny because I mean I wonder how old that story is. But even then, the idea that there are people that are best suited to certain jobs, certain chores, and accept that. Be happy with what you have, and don't necessarily let somebody else try to convince you otherwise. Try to make you a discontent, and then he was discontented, but when he got there, then he was something of a malcontent to a degree. Where it's like, no, we have to change up. We have to change it up. And I mean, when you think about it, you see that today. I mean, hell, you see that with the internet all the time, don't you? With people that know nothing about you, know nothing about your situation, trying to tell you what you should and shouldn't do. How often does that actually go well? To be fair, I actually don't know. I shouldn't be that smug about it, but it still is. The internet is full of people that don't actually know anything about you, anything about your situation, but will not hesitate to give you advice. That could be bad. Could be very bad. I mean, to be fair, some of it will also be sincere. I mean, it's like if you were to have if you were seeking some advice where, like, you just cannot get along with your manager, something like that, and so somebody's telling you, well, then quit. Maybe that is a good idea. Maybe you do just need somebody telling you, yeah, you can do that. Which, I mean, to be fair, for some people that would be what they need to hear, is just that, yes, you can find another job. Because there are plenty of people that probably don't believe they can. I mean, yeah, trust me, I know that feeling very much. Not to say I have a problem where I am, but just I've spent most of since graduating, I've only ever been chronically unemployed or underemployed. So the idea of just being able to get another job, yeah, I know that's not really that easy. I've never been out of work, but unemployed, oh yeah. I've been doing stuff like this in the writing for ever since I graduated. But anyhow, so yeah, just getting unsolicited advice and advice that they don't fully understand your situation can be problematic if you also don't recognize that, well, they don't actually know what they're talking about, or in some cases they don't have your best interest at heart. So yeah, but yeah, so I do like this because it is a reasonable moral. Because I could also see that then being, if you're telling this to a child and the child then asks about it, so they shouldn't change. The parent could just, or whoever the storyteller is, could just be explaining, well, maybe they could have done something. Maybe the bird didn't need to go out flying to collect as much wood as he always did. Maybe I don't know how the mouse or the sausage could help. And it's also, I do want to add, while the bird is perfectly suited for going out and collecting twigs, they already kind of do that. And for bringing back, it can go very far and all that. The mouse of the three would probably be the physically strongest, so it would make sense it carrying the water, because it would be able to go down there. It's on land. It's stable and sturdy on land, so it would be able to carry the water. So yeah, I mean, each one was best suited. The sausage is impervious to that heat, and also would be flavoring. So yeah, it makes sense. And just being like, well, yeah, I mean, maybe they could do some things to change it a little bit, but play to your strengths and don't necessarily just say to hell with it. We have to change it because somebody told me something. And is also, I'll even add this, because it does, like, straight up say one thing. Alas, he who is too well off is always longing for something new. Which is said right before the bird met another bird. And then that whole conversation. And it's like, he wasn't satisfied, just be content. And I will grant that is not easy. That takes definite maturity that not everyone ever achieves. There's some people that I do not doubt will never achieve that. Others that do, but at what point in their lives is hard to say. So, yeah. No, I like that. I do like this one, because if nothing else, it's obvious. Still don't know what's up with the other one. The straw, the coal, and the bean. I guess, aside from just showing that you sometimes things don't go together well. I was like, each one of them fills a spot well, in that they did not really seem to. Alright, so next we have the pack of ragamuffins, which has something to do with chickens, apparently. Just... Well, stop that. How can I... Okay, let's see if I can do... Oh, now you're kind of getting it. Okay, I'm gonna... There, so you can see it there. I think. I hope. I don't know. Yes. I it would be nice if I could have a better background or something, so I didn't have to use this background removal. Like, could just color key or not use any background removal, but not the situation. Anyway, so yeah, we'll see what the pack of ragamuffins is next time. See you then.